is up? What is up? What is up? We are back, black again, back to back. Man, another day, another 10 cents. Shout out to everybody at the Core Plantation. You already know what it is. Shout out to everybody that you already know I'm going to hit y'all with it. Did he come back? Did Jesus come back? Oh, god damn, man. I thought that nigga was going to come back, and I thought, he was going to be back. And we was going to all go to heaven. Shout out to everybody out there that's handling business and doing what the fuck they need to do to survive. So shout out to everybody out there that's handling the business. Shout out to everybody at the Core Plantation. And like I said, shout out to everybody. There's a lot of bitches probably at the church right now singing in the choir and trying to fuck the pastor, getting close to the first lady so they can fuck the pastor. So shout out to all you women that's out there too. Because I know there's plenty of y'all niggas out there trying to act like you want to be saved and go to heaven, but really trying to fuck the pastor. If you can fuck your way to heaven, there'd be a lot of women in heaven. Shit. But anyway, and a lot of niggas in heaven too. But anyway, shout out to everybody out there that's handling business. Special shout out to anybody that's working at the Core Plantation on weekend day, which is Saturday or Sunday. That shit is not fun. It's not easy. I did it for years. That shit is not fun. Oh, man, shout out to everybody out there that did check out my podcast that I had with my boy, Nick. Shout out to Nick, Dom, I fuck with y'all. Shout out to them, man. Man, we try to put something together, man, but of course, the internet feed, it wasn't my internet, though. It was motherfucking YouTube, man. YouTube be on some bullshit. Cause that shit was working just fine, man, and all of a sudden, we put the shit on there, and it was problems. So, shout out to everybody that checked that out. And if you can't, go check it out, man. Very, very good podcast. My brother Nick was dropping some jewels. So shout out to everybody out there. Shout out to everybody out there right now that is hustling, trying to figure out what their next move is. Shout out to all my entrepreneurs that's got a black business. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to them. Shout out to anybody that's on that cryptocurrency. Go get you Coinbase. I fucks with it heavy. So go get you some Coinbase, man. I fuck with it. I'm getting an alert from crypto.com right now, but I fuck with Coinbase. I like that a little better than crypto.com. But shout out to everybody that is trying to diversify their portfolio. Get you some stock, bond, 401k, IRAs, individual retirement account funds, bonds, you already know what it is, crypto, anything that could add to your portfolio. So shout out to everybody that's out there handling business. And I want to send a special shout out to everybody that is, basically knowing what their path is and walking in their path and not trying to be somebody that they not. And what I mean by that is what somebody wants you to be. It's very easy for you to conform and do what they want you to do, but what do you want to do? What are your goals, dreams, ambitions? What are you trying to do? You want to be an entrepreneur? Take the time out to do that. If you don't want to be an entrepreneur, there's nothing wrong with that. Everybody can't be an entrepreneur. I strive and want to be one. I'm old as motherfucker, but I still want to be one. I'd rather work for myself than work for someone else, but I know it is very difficult. It's scary. It's something new. But as the days go by and you get older, your tolerance level gets a lot lower. So shout out to everyone that their tolerance is low. Use your intellectual property for you, not for no Core Plantation job. We are going to get into today. We're going to continue what we talked about yesterday, but more we're going to get into. My question is, what should we be fighting for? What should we be fighting for? We're also going to talk about John Holian, the headmaster of a Catholic school who made a young black brother bow down. So we're definitely going to get into that in a real way. What should Native blacks fight for? Because it is very easy for us to fight for every other racial group, but when it comes to us, it's so funny. Dylan Roof went in there and shot up that motherfucking church. They took him to Burger King. And then niggas want to pray with him. But because a white person shot up some Asian shit, now all the congressmen, everybody want to come out and, we cannot have that. Man, stop. What happened to Lakeisha Harlan? Stop. Don't get me started, man. These Asian folks are not as nice as they appear to be. And if they care so much, then why the fuck are they in native black neighborhoods in the liquor stores selling us poison, right? But they don't patronize no black businesses. But you'll go to a swap meet and see an Asian person selling you Pro Club. Stop. I don't feel bad at all. That's not our fight. I don't have a dog in that fight. And if any Asian, a so-called Asian American wants to sit down and have a discussion, we could have a discussion about it. And the first thing I'm going to tell you is you didn't build this country, so that's not really our problem. We got bigger fish to fry, and it ain't worried about every other racial group. So we're going to get into that as well. We're going to get into how we always caving for everybody else but ourselves. We have so much confidence in every other racial group, but when it comes to native black folk, we act like we don't have shit and that we don't exist. And we're going to talk about the headmaster, John Holian, and how he made a black brother kneel. As that was his so-called he was reprimanding him. So, you have to kneel. And they're trying to make up all these excuses. And it's like, look, y'all should know in the education, as Neely Fuller Jr. and Dr. Francis Cress Welsing talks about, they dominate 9 areas of activity. And we're going to get into that. Should I name them? I'm going to name the ones off the dome. We're going to name labor, law, politics, sex, education, entertainment, war, religion. So let's not play the game. Y'all already know what it is. So I'll tell you this right now. We're gonna get into it. There's a lot of shit that we're gonna discuss. We're gonna talk about that too. We have to understand what they dominate and how the game, to me, affects black folk. So we're gonna get into all that, man. I ain't gonna be on here long. I just want everybody to check out that podcast from last night. So we're gonna get into it. Hey. Man, we got a lot to discuss. Goddamn mouse. We got a lot to discuss, but we're gonna get into it. I ain't gonna be on here long. Like I said, I'll give you about 20, 30 minutes, and that's about it. Man, the first thing I was looking at was, hey, what's going on, cuzzo? I mentioned you last night, man. Look, we went live yesterday. Man, we went live, and for some sort of, I knew that shit was gonna happen. I don't know if you went on my page. Look, I loaded a video. Well, check it out. Y'all know I've been having problems with the internet and all this other shit, right? And I'm telling my boy before we go, I'm like, now watch it be some problems. So we start the shit. The music ain't playing. I'm like, why the music ain't playing? So I stopped the feed, turn it back on, right? The music is playing. I know my shit growing though, huh? Nah, because I've been taking that motherfucking CMOS though. That's a fact. I've been taking that CMOS, man. Not no pills, straight CMOS. You know, I'll be making that shit. So look, my shit growing. My shit nappy, but my shit growing. But anyway, so we get to going, and then I'm looking at the feed. The feed says we live, but it's not going to anywhere. I'm like, so they don't even know. It was like 27 seconds. And then Taja hit me up and was like, nigga, I missed the live. I was like, you ain't missed the live. It wasn't no live. But we still recorded it, so we uploaded it. And then tell me why that shit took 3 hours to upload. I was trying to upload the shit from iMovie. The shit was bullshitting. Then I finally just went on YouTube and tried to upload it from there, and then it finally worked. And then after it worked on YouTube, then iMovie uploaded it. So it was too fucking powerful. I'm like, this is some bullshit, man. So I was just like, man, I just want you to go back and check it out, man. My boy, he was kind of dropping jewels. And what we did was we just took conversations that we have off the air and stuff like that, and we just kind of put it on wax. So, but yeah, man, I want to discuss a lot of that shit, man. One of the main things I was looking at, okay, the shooting. Now, y'all see the thumbnail. If y'all see the thumbnail, man, they are making a big deal about this. Now, I don't want to see nobody lose their life, but that's not a native black problem. That sounds like a them problem, not a us problem. Because when Dylan Roof went in that church and shot up all those niggas, I didn't see nobody talking about, oh my God, what's happening? We have to stop the hate. No, they'll march, whine, and repeat with you, but when you say, okay, you want to establish a system of justice? Yes, we want it to be fair and justice. Okay, then we want reparations. Well, you know, my parents came here with $2, you know, and they had to fend for themselves. Then they start giving you their sob story of how their parents came here. Oh my God, let me tell you something. These other racial groups, especially the Italians, a lot of the time, they be the main niggas trying to tell you about how they came here with $10 and their parents, you know, made their empires out of nothing. Well, you made your empires off the backs of black labor. So I don't know what to tell you. And you know, and I'm looking at this shit and I'm like, oh, okay. So we gonna talk about this shit. And the thing that trips me out, Duckworth calls for a deeper investigation into the mo behind spa shooting. Okay, I found something and we gonna listen to it, but before I play the audio, I just thought I found it quite funny and interesting that they are basically trying to make any crime against, they're trying to make that a federal hate crime too. It could just be a random white person that get into it with an Asian person and now it's a hate crime. right? But Philando Castile got shot by law enforcement, shot into the car, could have killed the young daughter, the young lady that was in the car. No hate crime, no civil rights violation, no nothing. Then they sued and they cash you out, then you going about your way. Mike Brown, he got shot and killed. Laquan McDonald, that police officer that race soldier straight lied. Why is that not a hate crime? That's because law enforcement is trained to protect and serve the dominant white society, not no black motherfucker. It's just not that way. And y'all need to understand when they keep using trick words like minority and people of color. That's some bullshit. Because you can go get some East Indian motherfucker, Kamala Harris's peoples, and they be like, oh, this black on black crime got to stop. But they only claim black when it's convenient for them. Y'all know this motherfuckers only claim black when it's convenient for us? For them? When it's not convenient for them, they like, oh shit, I'm not black. That's why the Dominicans, the Puerto Ricans, all of them, they identify with Spaniards, even though the Spaniards don't identify with them. If you go to Spain will look at a Puerto Rican like, what the fuck you doing here, nigga? I don't give a fuck if you can speak Spanish. You're not no Spaniard. Spaniards look like Mark and Paul Gasol. Jesus Christ. Cesare. You know what I'm saying? So I just found it was interesting. Just like that headmaster for one of these Catholic schools, I don't know if it's in New York, the Uniondale headmaster, John Haleon or whatever, he made a kid, a black boy, 11 years old, bow down and say sorry. Y'all know y'all doing some slave play shit, and then you trying to you trying to walk it back. Not walk it out, but walk it back like, oh, no, it wasn't that way, and it's because he's African. Oh, man, stop. We got to understand what we should be fighting. And a lot of the times, we think that we're supposed to be fighting everybody else's battle. Don't fight everybody else's battle. Fight your own shit. That's when you get on the court plantation, don't be fighting motherfuckers' battles. Do not be fighting other motherfuckers' battles. When people try to get you involved in some shit that don't involve you, now if it's your man's, like if you're at the court plantation and these are your peoples, you fuck with them heavy, then that is your duty to give them advice. Like, look, man, I don't know if I would do that. That's just gonna bring more heat. Don't even trip. Woo, woo, woo. That's different. But if you don't fuck with them motherfuckers, don't be gung-ho to be jumping in the fuck jump out and then your ass be the one shot up. Don't do that shit. Niggas got a bad problem with that. Like Nelly Fuller Jr. said, and the United Independent Compensatory Counter Racist Code book, I gotta get that book. It's on my shelf somewhere so I can show y'all. He talks about how you see two white people arguing. When you see two white people arguing, don't get involved in that. Unless they're arguing about establishing a system of justice. If they're not arguing about establishing a system of justice and replacing white supremacy, then that's just two slave masters arguing. So I don't know why black folk want to choose a side. And then they're trying to get you to choose a side. Stop doing that. If they argue, they should be arguing about replacing the system of racism and white supremacy and establishing a system of justice. That's all they should be worried about. And if they are not worried about that, then they're not your allies. And as Dr. Francis Cress Welsing said, tell us what's being said when we're not in the room. That's why I'm going to keep referring to the podcast last night, because we had a brother on here that was telling us what's being said when we not in the motherfucking room. And no, it wasn't no bullshit. You know what I'm saying? So you have to understand that. And this isn't, let me go find any other racial group and let me see if they going to tell me. No. Any other racial group that's trying to establish a system of justice, they going to fuck with you on GP. They going to fuck with you. And it ain't going to be no instantly like, yeah, no, because you got to look at that shit too. If it's instant, that could be co-op. That could be an op. That could be an agent provocateur that's trying to get in there and sow discord and run back and tell, your slave master or your boss or whoever it is you report to at your court plantation. So you got to be very mindful of who you're dealing with. And don't speak too much. Be slow to speak, eager to hear. Sometimes these people, they just going to tell you what it is anyway. They're gonna show you better than they can tell you. A lot of times they're gonna tell you. And even when they tell you, you have to believe them. When a person shows you who you are, who they are, believe them. Don't be sitting up there making excuses. That's another thing that I'm gonna get on. Black folks, stop making excuses for the dominant white society and other racial groups because they're your friend. In this global system of racism and white supremacy, you don't have any friends really. And the real friends are gonna stand up and stand out, and you're gonna notice who they are. The people that are your associates, all they're going to do is hang tight, hang up under you, see what the type of information they get from you, and try to use that against you when they can. That's why when you understand in business, when you're at the corporate plantation, you are the business, not them. So you have to govern yourself accordingly. You can't be one of those type of motherfuckers that's sitting up here like an open book, telling all your personal business and running around, playing their victim. Listen to what I mean by playing their victim, meaning being the type of victim that they want you to be. Telling all your business and, I don't know what I'm going to do. They like that. It makes them feel good that they can do so. Oh, I feel good. Pat myself on the back. I did something good for a nigger today. No. Play victim like this. Oh, I don't feel comfortable. Wait, I don't understand the question. Always, 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 when they start questioning, you say, but I don't understand the question. Can you repeat that question again? Because I don't understand. Can you help me understand what you're saying? Speak to me in layman's terms because I don't understand. Then when they say that, they'll understand like, oh, okay, this ain't no dumb motherfucker. And then they have to choose their words wisely. You have to always be one of these type of people that don't be a defender of other people's bullshit, but only be a defender of who you are and who your people are that you fuck with. And stop expecting these people just because they march around and repeat with you that they your friends and they really care. Look, that's all aesthetics. That's all imagery. Look, I'm so sick of motherfucking politicians. Everybody talking about they march with Dr. King. Everybody marched with Dr. King, but where the fuck was everybody at when the nigga got shot? Why everybody else ain't get shot? How come he was the only nigga that got shot? Stop. So all these motherfuckers want to quote Dr. King. You know they always, especially Black History Month, they can't wait to quote Dr. King and then show you Harriet Tubman. That's all they want to do. They want to show you Harriet Tubman and quote Dr. King. Y'all ain't never noticed that shit? Always Dr. King and Harriet Tubman, and then Frederick Douglass. They don't talk about IDB Wells, really. Matter of fact, they don't really talk about none of the inventions that we were responsible for, like the stoplight, like the ironing board, like the car, that type of shit. You know what I'm saying? I've been watching, but I haven't finished it. I got the book. It's called Bad Blood, but it's about this chick that was trying to compete with Quest Diagnostic and other people, and basically she just lied and ran game, and she used being a female to woo and finesse people out of money for her business when really she was just straight out lying to motherfuckers. I've been watching that documentary too. It's good. It's getting good. I was already watching the documentary. They had a documentary about that, about Aunt Becky and all the motherfuckers that was lying to get their kids into college. Oh my God. And then you see how our daughter tried to go on the red table talk and try to play the victim. Oh, I don't want nobody to feel sorry for me. Well, why would we? That's why it's not our job to feel sorry for these Asians. Look, I got love for some of my Asian brothers and sisters, but let's keep this shit a buck. Y'all cannot be playing the victim when you guys have not clearly been nice to native black folk in this country. Hair up and by. Then you want to seek out black folk and sell us our product. Then you want to, the hair industry is such a big industry, so you want to sell black folks hair. I don't ever see no Asians going in there and buying hair, but you always see niggas in there. They know what the fuck they doing. Putting your hands on sisters in the nail shops and shit like that. And then you know what to do. Then you do a 50% off and then niggas go right back in there. But niggas gotta be on code. Stop fucking with these motherfuckers. Because if you notice when it's a black business, you don't never see Asians fighting each other to support a black business. But they gonna make sure they take care of their own. So let them fight their own battle. That ain't our battle. I don't like to see nobody get killed. I don't condone no shootings and none of that, but that ain't my problem. We got to worry about us. Justice is just us. So no, you're not going to be out there marching and lighting candles. And no, I'm not doing none of that shit because that ain't our problem. Because when Philando Castile got shot, I didn't see none of the Asian community running to his rescue. So I don't want to hear none of that shit. So I'm going to try to, I'm looking for some audio of the actual shooting. Let me see if I can find it. Here we go. This is, I think, Face the Nation. So I want to see what they say.
You just heard Mayor Garcetti talk about what's happening in his city. I want to ask you as well about what happened this week in Atlanta. The FBI director, Chris Wray, says that local investigators, they've got the lead, but from where he sits so far, it doesn't look like these shootings were racially motivated.
So it wasn't racially motivated, so stop it. See, all they trying to do is piggyback off of black folks' struggle. Oh, this is race. Nigga, y'all didn't build the country, so how could it be race? Y'all not threatening. They allow y'all to have these businesses. They know who the fuck black folk are. They know what melanin is about. And y'all don't have none of that shit. So that's why they give you all the bullshit, because they know you're not no threat. You just happy to be here. You didn't build this country. That's why they run with that narrative that the Chinamen built the railroads. But like me and my brother Nick was talking about last night on the podcast, if you read Slavery by Another Name by Douglas Blackman, it talks about how we built the railroads and then they finished the end. At the very end, they finished it up. But they try to make y'all seem like they kidnapped Chinamen and forced them to build the railroads. Stop.
From where you sit, is he wrong?
Well, from where I sit, I want to see a deeper investigation into whether or not these shootings and other similar crimes are racially motivated. It looks racially motivated to me, but I'm not,
It was definitely racially motivated when they killed Lakeisha Harlins or Latasha Harlins, whatever her name was. You can Google racial killings against black folk, and that shit'll come up. Stop. Stop it with the bullshit. The hurry up and buy, selling us our product, going into the hair care business so you can stop.
I'm not a police officer. I'm not investigating the crimes. What I have done, though, is I have actually sent a letter to Director Wray and to Attorney General Garland asking for a deeper investigation into crimes that involve Asian Americans to see how many crimes have actually been underreported as hate crimes. We know that crimes against Asian Americans that have been categorized as hate crimes have increased by over 150% in our nation's major cities. That's over 3,800 additional crimes last year. But we also know that many of these crimes go underreported as hate crimes and are just classified as a mugging or harassment or vandalism when they were targeted at Asian Americans and Pacific Islanders in particular.
Earlier this month, when Director Wray appeared before Congress, he was pressed on what he was doing. He said that the FBI is already trying to address this with training.
Well, what about that Asian brother that sat there and watched George Floyd get murdered on fucking film? What about that? He was Asian. He seemed like he didn't have no care in the world for no niggas. So stop.
Liaison events. He said they put out intelligence reports about what's happening in the Asian community. What more does federal law enforcement need to be doing? And don't they already have a civil rights division dealing with these kind of crimes?
Well, they do, but the problem is the crimes often are not reported as a hate crime or race-motivated crime at the scene with the local police officers because people just don't see Asian Americans as a minority group that gets attacked on a regular basis. Now, if you're Asian American like me and my family, you know it happens on a regular basis, but oftentimes these crimes just get reported in some other way. Or when you say, hey, I think it was race-motivated, it doesn't, the authorities don't pay attention to that and just reclassify them. And that is what I've asked Director Wray and Attorney General Garland to take a deeper dive into. Let's relook at all of these crimes involving Asian Americans and let's see how bad is this underreporting.
I want to ask you about another.
Man, stop. A deeper investigation? Well, where's the deeper investigation for George Floyd? Stop.
Dimension to this issue that I thought was raised in an interesting framing by the Atlanta Journal and Constitution. They have a front page story saying, before the killing spree in that city, Georgia let an industry that exploits Asian women flourish. Given the national conversation around commodification and exploitation of Asian women in this country, I wonder what you think of this idea. Were those women in Atlanta essentially being exploited and victimized twice?
Stop. They're not the victims of nothing. Are they the victims when they want to give you a massage and a happy ending? Stop. They not no victims then, so stop it now.
Well, I think that any time that you're part of a minority group, especially one with reduced power, you are much more susceptible to being exploited. And that's why I want us to take a deeper look at the situation here. Asian women in particular have been commoditized. Asian women in particular have this stereotype against them that they're weak and submissive, and they've been over-sexualized. And so what happens is that they become the victims of crimes far more often. I mean, these increases in hate crimes against Asian Americans in the last year, 2/3 of them were against Asian women. We really have to deal with this situation, but we need the real data as to what is going on here so we can fix it.
The president on Friday.
What about the data for Lakeisha Harlins? What about that data? Let's talk about that real quick. What about that data? In 1991, when she got shot and killed by a 51-year-old Korean American at a liquor store. What was that lady's name? Soon Jan-do, or whatever the fuck her name is. And she was acquitted. So what the fuck? Why are y'all not talking about that? That was in 91. She had no problem shooting and killing her. Stop. Let's see. I want to know, where is Soon Ja Do now? What is she? I hope she. Oh, let's see. Was convicted of voluntary manslaughter, but her suspended sentence, 5 years of probation, 400 hours of community service, and a fine, enraged much of LA's black community. She lives in San Fernando Valley, so she's still around. She, to me, is just like the woman that had Emmett Till killed. Just living. No problem. Because they don't give a fuck. But we are supposed to be, oh man, those people, those poor shootings at the spot. Stop. That bitch was probably giving happy endings in that goddamn spot. Stop. Stop trying to, I'm not justifying the killing, but stop trying to victimize these Asian so-called Americans. It's like they're just pillars of the community. Stop. Have y'all been to these spas? These women, they know what the fuck they doing in these spas. Trust and believe you me, I thought about going to one. Just so I can see exactly what they fucking doing in there. So don't get it twisted. And stop trying to make it seem like, look, the only people that should be the victims are black women who have been pillaged, raped, robbed, babies cut out of their stomach before they given birth, hung. Stop. I'm reading this book, The Pound of Flesh, all the fucking things that they've done to black women, but you want to talk about some Asian Americans and then you try to make it like it's a targeted thing. Oh, they just wish it was a black person too. It was a white man. So that's why this isn't going to stick. And then let me tell y'all what's going to happen. Let's just get this out the way. When nothing happens to that white man because the system of racism and white supremacy, they're going to be on cold. And sorry, we're going to have to treat y'all like a nigga. So nothing's going to happen to those people. And we're going to go on as normal because we give you the stores and the liquor stores. We give you the shit to treat them niggas fucked up. Sorry. So we not them. This is our system. These Asians, now they're going to want to do walks and protests with black folk and stop the violence. You see niggas out there protesting with these Asian motherfuckers, that's some sucker shit. Because these motherfuckers don't give a fuck about you, because if they did, then why don't they give up some of those resources that they get from the dominant white society and give it to black folk so we can have businesses in our communities? So stop. I don't want to hear that shit at all.
They endorsed a bill I know you are a co-sponsor of called the COVID-19 Hate Crimes Act. All the co-sponsors are Democrats. Do you have any pledges from Republicans to sign on?
We don't at this time, and it's astonishing to me. I mean, the House passed a bill that actually was a resolution.
Her name is Tammy Duckworth. Please. That means you must have married a dominant white society person, because I know that ain't your name. And see, this is what I mean when I tell black folk, everybody comes over here and they replicate the behavior of the dominant white society. They don't care about no other racial group. They're going to replicate and go along to get along and conform to the dominant society's template. So when you come on, when you getting around people like that, you have to understand what's going on. Just like that sister from Teen Vogue who they like made step down because she had some racist tweets from 10 years ago. Well, there was another woman, I don't know if she was Asian or whatever, that was saying nigga on Twitter too. She was a senior advisor on staff. They didn't fire that bitch, but they sure did fire the black bitch though. This is the type of shit that they do. That's why stop thinking you can do what they do. Stop thinking you can do any of that shit because you're not them.
Against hate crimes against Asian Americans tied to COVID. And, you know, we had actually Republicans.
So basically they're trying to say because of COVID-19 and Donald Trump called it the China virus, now they're trying to use that and play the victim. Oh, you know, they've been calling us, you know, the China virus. Stop, man. Who gives a fuck about any of that? Stop. They're not harming you. They're not stopping you from running your liquor stores and selling hair to black folk and running your nail salons and talking in your language about niggas that come in there. I don't know why black people fuck with them. I don't. They know I don't fuck around with that shit. I look at them like they motherfucking crazy. Period. No, I ain't doing none of that shit because I know how they are and I know they think that our racial group is a fucking joke. So that's why I don't even fuck with that bullshit like that because I already know how they are. They talking their own language. They treat niggas fucked up. As soon as they think you ain't gonna pay, they want to go upside sisters' heads and do all this volatile shit. And then when niggas show up to really get it popping, then they claim victim and call the police, and then they go call the dominant society. And then all what sisters need to stop doing is, why you fucking with them? Go buy your shit from somebody else. Go to a fucking, if you want to go to a nail salon, go to a sister's nail salon. Go look, Google it. Go on Instagram. Hey, is there any sisters out here that do nails? Stop fucking with these people, man. For real.
who voted against it. And Mitch McConnell at the time, because Republicans were in charge, wouldn't even let us vote on it in the Senate. I mean, how?
Because Mitch McConnell is an old racist white man. He don't give a fuck about no Asian people either. That's what y'all get. That's why they didn't like Donald Trump. Donald Trump was calling out their asses too. And that's why they hated him. Because they like, hey, this isn't fair. It's only fun when you guys make fun of the niggers. It's not fun when you make fun of us. And that's all that is. That's why they don't like Donald Trump. And I don't care what nobody say. That's a fact.
Where can you be that you would not be willing to vote on a bill that would condemn violence against any group of Americans?
Okay, then if that's the case, then why y'all wasn't going hard body when Philando Castile got shot? Why would y'all go hard body when Freddie Gray got killed? When Mike Brown, when Alton Sterling got killed, when Walter Scott got shot in the back? Why was y'all going hard body now? Because it's y'all shit, which should tell black folk, niggas only go hard to paint when it's for their racial group. So stop caping and taking up and holding up the bloodstained banner for them. You ain't gonna see me out there protesting for a motherfucker unless it's black folk. And I ain't really with that protesting shit anyway, because they don't do nothing, but all they do is every other racial group is sit back and laugh at y'all, and it's like entertainment. They get popcorn and watch y'all act the fool.
We will look for an answer. Immigration, I want to ask you. President Obama, as you recall, was heavily criticized. He was even called the deporter-in-chief.